So it was actually last night. So I told you already that I graduated all these wonderful humans, and
Yeah.
there were 12 of them um, who graduated last year. And so they were in my chamber group. There were 12 that were in my chamber group. So that meant that four remained and not a single
Actually,
tenor. So
whoa,
that was
hold
fun.
on. I just got the gravity of what you just said there.
Yeah. Yeah. So the chamber group is 16 voices. They
Oh
meet after
my
school
goodness.
and they are tasked with singing all styles. So we do
Yeah.
jazz, then we do classical, then we do jazz again, and then we do pop. And that's our four quarters. And
Yeah.
and they meet after school and they are tasked with practicing their little faces off and that extra hour, in choir and making the time for that. They do get an extra credit for it. They also spend 3 Saturdays in late November and December caroling. And then sometimes I make them go in the evenings too. And I'm like, well, we're going to the nursing home. Okay. My
Yeah.
homework's not done, but I'll be there, and so anyway, the zeitgeist was that I had these 12. I actually ended up with 17 because one kid, I keep it to 16 because that's as many as you can send to solo and ensemble, which is our competition. But one of the kids is Seventh Day Adventist, and she won't be able to sing the Saturday concert or the Saturday. Yeah, so I can take 16. Although probably some of them will go down because it's in February, so they'll get the flu and not be able to sing. But anyway, the point of the story is there are 13 new people who were carrying the weight of that group from last year. Who they
Yeah.
rocked, like they killed it at graduation. Everybody loved it. They sang a piece. They sang Gravity. The
Mm.
Sarah Bareilles is Gravity mixed with Rocket Man. And it was this like mashup. And and it was hard. And there were lots of solos, and then the choir would be under the solo, and the timing was tricky, and they just nailed it in a huge stadium, and it was crazy. So I know that my 13 new singers they're stressing about
Yeah.
filling those shoes, and some
Yeah.
of them are sophomores, so they're like barely ready.
Yeah.
Um, but the juniors, and then I have one new senior, is it two? Two new seniors. They've been practicing their little faces off. Like we have this jazz piece. It was pretty hard. I picked a level two, but I was telling the kids, I don't feel like this was level two. Like it's out of four. And to me, it seemed like 3.5. Um, but they had a recording. And so I was just like, you gotta practice, you gotta listen to that recording. And one day I finally heard that they had been doing it, and then it started to sound great. And so last night I knew they were very nervous because there's only 16 of them. We were singing in the gym. It's a huge crowd. It's their first time out. And we were waiting in the hallway to go on while the jazz band was playing, and they all started doing the Macarena. And I was like, okay, they're going to be just fine. Now they have, because they all day they had been super tight and really nervous and really extra loud. Like singers, when they're nervous, just get loud, and because they're all external processors. And so I was like, oh my gosh, are they going to blow this? Like that would be terrible. But they did their little Macarena, and then they went on and nailed it. And it was so great.